people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Matt Williams got a brilliant start from the third row of the grid.
He's gone, he's hit him, he's straight off at the chase.
And a half-second lead. Oh, with the simmering car in the background.
He has it. Oh, he's round on the last lap.
There's a massive accident.
Next to the inside, what a move, what a move.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday night here on Automobilista Australia's ATCC Championship. God, I've started well already.
It's just a classic ATCC DC stream.
Yep.
Stream.
And we're here at Oran Park, and the reason I'm so excited tonight, and I can't get my word out, is because we have a championship battle on our hands for the last round of the championship. So, bringing you the action tonight is me, Chris Riddell, and Michael Zalavari. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Chris. Good officially on the evening tonight. I'm also starting well as well. We're here. We made it. We've gone to 9 of the best racetracks that Australia has to offer and Winton. And we're here at round 11 of the ATCC Championship, the finale. And we have a 3-way title fight. And it's one of my favorite racetracks that doesn't exist anymore. What could go wrong?
Oran Park Raceway. This is a beautiful racetrack. I wish it existed because it's absolutely fantastic. It's tight. Well, it's tight. It's quick, short laps. 25 cars on the server at the moment. We're going to be in for a very fun night.
It's going to be mental. It's going to be absolutely crazy, considering the layout of this track, the amount of cars, and if we get anything close to the action we saw last week at Eastern Creek Raceway, Sydney Motorsport Park, we're going to be in for an absolute treat. And this little bull ring has a habit of putting on a show.
That is for sure. It's a track that's really, for a short lap of 1 minute 10, 1 minute 7, the best time is at the moment, it's got 3 distinct sectors. You've got the stupidly long front straight of about 1 kilometre, into a tricky turn 1, and then you have a tight technical thing around the loop going over itself at after 4. And that's all tight and technical. Then you come to flowing, elevation, tight, or not tight, but, sweeping corners. Probably one of my favourite corners in all of Australian motorsport. And then you come into that heavy braking zone for the last corner.
Yeah, it's got a really cool mix of the very sort of stop-start sections in the first sector, and then it just opens up beautifully to a European track almost, with the elevation change, the camber change, and those the big chicane on the back straight, which you can almost launch off if you try hard enough.
Yes.
It's a really, really cool track, and it's unfortunate that Sydney had to engulf it in houses, because I think for mid to high level racing, it could produce some great racing. And I remember the V8 supercars used to come here all the time, and Oran Park would be around that would always excite and always add intrigue.
Yep, that last corner, perfectly well banked. You had a crowd on the hill being raucous as all hell.
Bogans on the hill.
Hill.
Name a better combination.
Exactly. We didn't see that at Bathurst last week, so if only we saw it.
Sad.
Yeah, but I love the scenes from this track back in the supercar days. Of course, this used to be the championship finale when it was still operational in the last years of its life, especially. So it's quite fitting that we're here deciding the championship tonight, and what a championship it is.
Yeah, it has been an absolutely titanic battle between the top 3 drivers, Will Devenish, Scott Nolan, and Brenton Hobson. We saw at the very beginning of the season, it was actually Scott Nolan who was the strongest of the Synergy Sim racing machines of that trio. But as the series has gone on, Hobson does what Hobson does, and he has been oppressively consistent since his one bad round at Pukekohe Park. Since then, he has been almost on the podium every single week, except for the 1 week when none of the Synergy Sim racing cars were on the podium, which, if I recall correctly, was... Oh, when was it?
Oh,
I can't even remember.
I can't remember. The championship's been that crazy. I can't remember.
Yeah,
everything
it has been quite crazy. We've seen some absolutely epic moments. I think Wayne Spencer's win last fortnight was quite epic. The racing at Sydney Motorsport Park, very fresh in our minds. Will Devenish pantsing the field by over a minute at Winton was just
Yes.
unbelievable. The battle for the top 3 at Barbagallo, again, just an absolutely titanic tussle. And even going all the way back to Calder, the first time these cars ran out and the feedback that everyone gave, how much joy they had. We knew we were in for a great season here. And here is the championship picture on screen now. It's 8 points separating Hobson from Nolan at the Synergy Sim Racing car 1-2. And then Will Devenish in third on 220 points, a further 7 points behind. He's actually quite vulnerable to LimeMitch, should Mitch have a decent race tonight in the Skyline. So it's all to play for at the top of the table. And then we've got some nice mid-pack battles. Rasmussen's come on strong after a very poor start to the season. Wayne Spencer, after his win, he vaults up into 6th place. Hans Brunswick not here tonight, so he's not going to be doing any better than 7th. He's subbed in Peter Savage in the Equerry Brunswick Volvo. Brock Harvey has a chance to vault him, provided he can escape Steve Bolger. And Cracker, the early season pace setter, the winner at Simmons Plains, Tasmania, all those weeks ago, rounds off the top 10 as the lead Sierra. So it's been a topsy-turvy season, to say the least. But one thing you can say is that every car has been strong somewhere, and it's been a matter of who's capitalized when they've had the pace that really paints the championship picture as it stands.
Absolutely correct. Now, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think if my maths is correct, Brenton Hobson can seal this if he finishes 6th or better.
Ooh, I'll have to refresh on the first week's graphics. So 8 points is the difference. So yes, 6th or better will see Hobson win the championship.
Yep. The battle for 3rd and 4th, with 3 points in it, that can come down to basically 2 spots on track between Devenish and LimeMitch. And of course, Scotty Nolan, Brenton Hobson being teammates, similar machinery under them, it's going to be a straight fight between the two tonight. And if we look at the practice times already, Brenton Hobson 107.285 currently setting the pace. Scotty Nolan 4/100ths behind.
Yeah, it's quite a surprise. We were expecting the Mercedes to be the one to be really strong here, but it has been the HSVs carrying over that good form from Eastern Creek. And we've been saying it all season. The team, SSR, haven't been saying it all season. They've been hating it. But really, the HSV is the best all-rounder. It does everything at about 90%, which is basically, in a series like this, what you kind of want. You don't really want something like the Sierra where it's 100 in a straight line, but as soon as you encounter a corner, you're in trouble. Or the Mercedes, which is the entire other end of the spectrum, where on anything that's got any sort of corners, you're an absolute machine. But if there's a straight line which you get into 5th gear, you're getting pantsed by everyone behind you. So we've seen, evidence has now suggested that the way to be strong and consistent in this series is to be in the car that is the most palatable at any track. And the HSVs have clearly been that.
Yes. Compare that to Sierras, which tonight, and I have a good authority, are going to be crapping themselves every time they go into turn 1. Because it's trail braking, the cars go sideways, and it's basically holding off a grim death as they slide up for 2.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And I think the highest place Sierra at the moment is in the 11th.
We have Klaus Ludwig, which is actually just Lewis Wedding again. He currently sits 11th. Cam Rutledge sits in 17th in the Sierra, and Rhodey down in 21st. And we don't have Cracker tonight, which is a bit of a shame. We do have a few returning drivers, and we'll touch base with them throughout the night to show you what they've been up to. But unfortunately, no Cracker tonight, which is a bit of a shame.
Yes. So I'll just bring up a bit of practice so we can check out the last couple of minutes before we go into the qualifying.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's driver's briefing, so there's no practice. No one on track. Oh, there's one person on track. There's Scotty Murrell on track.
Which is a good chance to check out Scotty Murrell in that beautiful livery MHRT. Probably a good chance to mention in real life. Goodbye, Holden. Thanks for the memories.
Rest in peace, Holden. It was fun while no, it wasn't. I've never really been a Holden fan, just at all.
But you can't at all admonish the impact they've had on the Australian sporting landscape. It's
Not
sort of
just the Australian sporting landscape, but the Australian cultural landscape. Holden as a company has existed for 160 years. It was originally a saddlery based out of Adelaide. It was Holden and Sons back in the 1860s. So it's been an integral part of Australian history for such a long time. You know, my first car was a Holden. It was a Toyota, but it had Holden badges on it. It was a Holden Nova for those playing along at home.
God.
Yeah, I know, right? And 89, so it was older than I am. It's your age, isn't it?
87. Yeah, it's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Holden as an entity, as a part of Australia's identity, has been. Yeah, we're losing a part of Australia in Holden's closure, and it was appropriate and fitting that they went out on a win on the most hallowed piece of tarmac, the Bathurst 1000, which for such a long time was Holden's happy hunting ground.
Spoiler alert, but yes, you're absolutely right. And we'll talk about Bathurst a bit later because that was an intriguing race.
It was a classic slow burn endurance race. You often hear people find those a little boring, but really the tension that it built to at the end was amazing. We'll talk a bit more about it because of course we got plenty to say about it.
Oh.
And if you did miss our Bathurst 1000 preview, firstly shame on you. But Kiwi, I believe that you owe me something. Or maybe not. Well, maybe you don't owe me anything, but I would like to get some. I'd love to get some praise for once again showing my prediction prowess and living up to my Floodstradamus name.
Yes. In the podcast, you picked the 97.
Yep.
From the 6.
Yep.
From the third place car.
From the 25.
The 25. Bang on 9. I picked one of the Red Boys would run into difficulty, but I got the car number wrong.
Yeah.
But apart from that, our top 5 weren't too bad.
We did pretty well. I think the only one that we really missed was Fabian Coulthard.
Yeah.
We really didn't give him much of a shot, and him and Tony D just ran a quiet, flawless race, which was, fine. It would have been interesting to see, had they not been double stacked, whether or not they could have put more of a fight in at the very end there.
Yes, but those last laps from Shane van Gisbergen, just qualifying lap after qualifying lap, he just did what had to be done at the right time. It was ridiculous.
Absolutely, it was something special and a fitting way for him to earn his maiden Bathurst.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going to talk about this finale, don't we? We got cars getting ready for qualifying.
We have cars stacking 3 wide for qualifying.
Yes. We'll make reference to the 3 timing sectors. First sector ends just after turn 4. After turn 4 or into turn 4? On the loop of the go-kart track, the loop-de-loop. Sector 2 ends between turn 8, which brings you onto the backstretch and the chicane, and then of course the final sector brings you all the way back to the start-finish line.
As we go green.
Yeah, look for lap times in around the 107 region to be very, very good. We've got 25 cars in the server currently. I'm not sure if we've got any past indiscretions to...
there are a couple, I believe. Rossi, I think it is, might have a back of grid.
I'll have a quick look.
While you do that, I'm going to jump on to Damien Rasmussen, the 221 Synergy Sim Racing car. Because tonight we're going to focus on his teammates. Let's focus on him for a bit.
He did all right. It was unfortunate that he got wrapped up in a bit of drama late in the race last time out.
Yeah. Now, I think why we saw so many cars trying to get out of pit lane, it's such a short lap. You're really going to have 1 or 2 laps before you start hitting traffic.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very quick here. Yeah. 67 seconds. It's, the third shortest lap we go to?
Mm-hmm.
Here, Barbagallo, Simmons Plains? Anything shorter that jumps off your noggin?
No. Darwin maybe, but here we go. We'll go and jump on for Damien Rasmussen as he starts his flying lap now. Very long front straight. Expecting the cars to brake just on the exit of the pit wall here. And there he goes. Beautifully through one. And then real late on the exit of two on the gas. Under the performance tyres bridge. Fourth gear, straight on the brakes again.
Yeah, into the Mickey Mouse section. So there's the first sector mark at 18.7, which puts him, it's actually the fastest, just behind Scott Nolan and Luke Rosella. And now he comes up the hill. A bit of an oversteer moment out of turn 4 there, over the bridge. The car gets really light and bounces quite a fair bit, which makes this run into turn 5 and 6 very difficult. Using a lot of curb through this quicker section. And then up here into turn 8. Going to use the curb there, and you've got a nice apron to run the car over. And there's the second sector split just before the fast chicane. Up over the rise. Ooh, a bit too far over the rise for Rasmussen, I think. He might have got a track cut there. We'll find out when he crosses the line, but he does a nice job. Slides the car all the way to the concrete. That is your first lap of Oran Park, and he did get a track cut, so no lap time for Damien Rasmussen, but someone who has got a lap time is LimeMitch. He currently holds the fastest lap of the session, with a 1:08.4 to be the first one to really set a lap in anger. But look for Scott Nolan and Brenton Hobson to improve on their lap, as they've both set purple first sectors.
Yep, they're just coming through the last corner now. Hobbo 3/10 up. We'll see what he does across the line. Using a lot of that apron, which is actually going to double as the pit entry road. And he goes, look at that. Nolan
7.79 to go to the pole. Hobbo 7.98. So 2/10 the separation at the top. Peter Savage in the Volvo, the Equerry Brunswick Volvo tonight. He's now third with an 8.3 as he sends it around turn 2.
Hans in chat would not be happy with Peter breaking his car like that potentially.
Big F's in the chat for for the Equerry Brunswick car.
Yeah, big F's as well for Flood's Pizza, which didn't survive the car trip home. But
oh my god, I'm blowing up about that pizza. I'm blowing up. I gotta clean my freaking. Nah, we'll go. Another time.
Luke Joyner, I think, is on a heater. Currently in 9th place.
On a heater.
Yeah.
Oh, as we've got a new pole man, it's Luke Rosella who sets a 7.4.
That's a brilliantly quick time from Luke.
And I'm just going to track Scott Nolan coming across the line because he's 35 thousandths of a second behind Joyner's time to the second sector mark. He comes across the line, he does a 7.2, so he's up back to the top.
Fucking piece of shit.
Hi, Brock.
Hi, mate. Sorry, didn't realise the mic was open. I'm just going to put that on close.
Oh, typical TCAC here, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Harvey, series admin. What can you say to that? So we're almost halfway through qualifying. Here's the top 10 as it stands. It's Scott Nolan by 2/10 over Luke Rosella. Brenton Hobson just behind Rosella in third, and he has Damien Rasmussen for company. Sitting in 4th place. There's quite a bit of a gap between Hobbo and Rasmussen. Not much of a gap between Rasmussen and Wayne Spencer. A whole 100th of a second between those guys for 4th and 5th. Peter Savage in 6th, LimeMitch in 7th. Scott Murrell doing very well in 8th. Ozrob 9th. Steve Bolger 10th. They're separated by 3 thousandths of a second. And in fact, Bolger's just jumped ahead with a 1:08.899. So,
and Hobson's just gone top.
And we've got Hobbo just gone top, yes.
1:07.152. 78 100ths of a second ahead. That's a number.
Just an update on penalties from last week. There was a rear of grid start administered to Dane Liccardo for contacts with Cracker and with there was someone else as well, Ozrob. And actually a rear of grid start for Will Devenish. So that's why we haven't seen the Mercedes out in any form. So that's actually a big story. Passing under yellows for Will Devenish. So rear of grid start for him. He has an absolute mountain to climb if he wants the TCAC Australian Touring Car Championship title.
I think he'll be eyeing a 3rd place now.
Yeah.
As I put it in the description, Will his car to 3rd.
Oh God. You and your obnoxious alliterations.
That's dubiously dang right.
Stop. Just stop.
3.5 to go.
Qualifying.
3.5 to go. We sort of had everyone reset and get going again for their second hot lap. Looking down at Scotty Murrell was on a bit of a charge. He's half a second up on his PB that lap. So he's currently
Came across the line.
currently in fourth place now.
Let's jump on board with Scott Morrow because this is a bit of a story here. He's really found a proper way around this track as he's almost 2 tenths up. Oh, as he gets a big slide out of turn 3. 2 tenths up on his PB to the first sector mark. A big slide again. He's really making that left rear tyre work as he comes over the bridge and through turns 5 into turns 6 and 7. A lot of curb there. Seems to be very balanced though. There doesn't seem to be a lot of oversteer or understeer in the mid corner. On the power down though, he's getting all the understeer.
There you go, straight out of that chicane beautifully. Over here, over the flowing chicane into the last corner. And he's only 2 tenths down in the lead now. This is going to be a great lap. Could jump up.
This will
to
be
third.
a great lap. This could see him get up into third. Not quite close enough to the 2 leaders as he crossed the line. And he stays 5th. He's actually been jumped by, I'm not sure. It must have been someone just ahead of him.
Yeah, the Volvo of Peter Savage.
Peter Savage. Well done, Peter Savage. So that's Volvo. SSR 1-2. Equerry Brunswick 3-4.
See what happens, Hans, when you're not racing?
Oof. And Peter Savage is going quicker. He's green to the first sector mark. A bit of a mistake into turn 3, but this could be a lap that challenges the Synergy Sim Racing dynasty. And he's pulled out of it. No, he's pulled out of it.
That's fair.
I think he made too much of a mistake into turn 3 there. Got a little bit of oversteer and turn in, and that was enough to send him around. He's going straight. He might go straight out. But with Luke Rosello's also on a good lap. He's green to the first sector as well.
Yep, just got him on stream now. Coming through the second of the Mickey Mouse corners, as he beautifully called them. That's actually quite a tricky corner to get right. You just never quite know how much speed to take into there. Under the bridge, tricky braking zone as well.
And the front gets so light under the bridge, so you're always fighting understeer there. The car wants to just veer straight. Does a good job through the chicane there, and then through turn 8. I used to love this corner back in the V8's days. Slides it over the apron, and he's lost a bit of time, but he's still quite close.
Very aggressive.
Sideways moment. And then braking into the final corner. Downhill, then uphill, over the crest, slide it out to the wall. Just paint the A2 milk sign, and he doesn't improve. So unfortunately for Rosella, he's only going to get one more lap at it.
Peter Savage is now out on track, but I don't think he's going to get around in time. He's at the bridge now with 44 seconds to go. That's going to be tight.
It'll be very tight indeed.
Another heater for Scotty Nolan coming through the second sector. He's 1 tenth up on pole.
Oh, okay. We'll have to keep eyes on them as they cross the line. Nolan comes through.
He's lost a bit of time in the last sector, though.
Bit of a shame there. He'll have another shot. Nathan Higginson comes across the line. He doesn't improve, I don't think. Hobbo's on a quick lap to the second sector mark. We'll call him across the line. Bolger comes across the line. He stays 13th. Lewis Wedding, LimeMitch. These guys are all about to start their final laps. Hobbo doesn't improve, unfortunately, so he's got one more chance at it. Mike Coulston will be the last one to cross the line. Okay. And Rhodey spun it out the final corner, so he's done.
Well, Peter Savage did get it across the line with a few seconds to go, so we'll keep an eye on him as he comes around under the bridge now.
Brian Walsh crosses the line. He improves. He jumps out of the bottom group. I think that was Damian Rasmussen who just crossed the line. He stays 5th.
Yeah, Peter is looking a bit ragged this lap. He's actually pushing it, and he hasn't actually got the time, I think, to jump anywhere. From third place currently. So we'll jump up to the front too, see what happens there. Scotty Nolan coming across the line. Oh, check that margin out.
43 thousandths of a second. We also had Brock Harvey come into the pit, so he's not going to improve on his 9th place.
Yep, I think...
Hobbo's not improving this time around, so he's not going to improve on his lap time, but he doesn't need to. He's currently pole. LimeMitch will be the next to cross the line, and he's got a Brunswick reveal behind him, but that's around. LimeMitch, does he jump up?
Jump up to 7th place with that
7th? Hobbo comes into the pits. It was Luke. It was Peter Savage who went around at the final corner, and he was on a a personal best lap as well. So that's the qualifying run and done, last one of the year, and it is Brenton Hobson once again who takes home pole position by 43 thousandths of a second over his teammate Scott Nolan. They're going to be fighting out for the championship, of course. And then they're followed by the pair of Volvos, Peter Savage and Luke Rosella in the Ecurie Brunswick cars. Damien Rasmussen rounds out the top 5, and he has Scott Murrell for company on row 6. There's LimeMitch, Wayne Spencer, Brock Harvey, and Peter Siraj, Klaus Ludwig, Lewis Wedding rounding out your top 10 for the last round of the TCAC season.
It's going to be a perfect grid. I think from this position, it's Hobbo's championship to lose because we know he's going to just try and take off from the start. He's clearly got pace around here, so if he keeps it clean, I expect he'll take it from here and actually win the championship. I don't think that's too harsh a prediction to make.
Which would keep a streak of 4 TCAC championships that we've called alive.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, remember that in order for Hobbo to be in a position where he doesn't win the championship, he must fall outside the top 6. And besides that one shocking race at Pukekohe where everything went wrong, he has not finished outside the top 6 all season. So it's kind of like last year's V8 Supercar Championship where Van Gisbergen needed McLaughlin to finish outside the top 6. And if you've been watching a competitor be that consistent all season long, when you get to that situation, it's almost disheartening because you know that in order to have a chance, they've got to have a bad day, and you know Hobbo just doesn't have a bad day.
Yeah, and add to the complication that they're teammates. You know, you don't want your teammate to have a bad day, but you wouldn't mind them having a couple of bad corners so you can get round them and see what happens. I was thinking before, you know, I had this image in my head. What happens if Scotty Nolan's winning? Brendan Hobson's in 7th, Damien Rasmussen's in 6th.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. There would be some very heated team comms over on Hobbo's personal stream there, if that was the case. It would be, it certainly would be quite interesting.
Yes.
Should that be the case?
We're about 5 minutes away from getting underway, so hopefully no server issues tonight. Had a few in the past, but
yeah,
it'd be nice to
Fingers
get through tonight.
And eyes crossed.
Absolutely. With 25 cars, it's going to be a great old race. We should talk about the history of this place because this place, Oran Park, obviously, as we've talked about, doesn't exist anymore.
Rest in peace and pieces.
Yep, its final race here was in actually 2008.
Yep.
It
was a 36 lap race won by Jamie Wincop, if I recall correctly.
I think you're correct. With Garth Hander winning the weekend.
Yep.
But in the Group A era, obviously we had the 8 races here. First win in 85 was Robbie Frankovic in the Volvo. And then we had George Fury in the Nissan Skyline. Jim Richards. Yeah, great name. It's up there with Will Power. Jim Richards, obviously, in the M3. Then a pair of Sierras, Dick Johnson and Peter Brock. And then you had the final 3 years of Group A was Skyline dominated, Jim Richards and Mark Scaife by 2.
Oran Park as well hosted a bunch of different stuff in its history. You know, they could use the figure 8 track as a go-kart track, held rounds of the Formula 3 series, the Australian Formula 3 series. Remember watching Leanne Tander win a race here in a Formula 3? Yep. Yes,
back when her career wasn't ruined by pregnancy.
How unfortunate.
Yeah.
And drifting here was a big thing as well, using turns, not turns 1 and 2, but using the loop before those 2 turns, which brings them onto the fast swooping section, so they'd come up just next to the bridge. So coming down the main straight, using the loop to cut off the figure 8 section, the switchback, and then the run all the way around to turn 8. Night drifting, that was some pretty cool stuff.
And trucks. They raced the big old trucks around here.
Trucks!
Which they had to cut at the figure 8 because they wouldn't fit under the bridge.
Yeah. Beautiful little bull ring. We got some guys doing practice starts. Cam Rutledge on the inside line using a practice start.
Yeah, and of course, in the race track, 2009 had some final club level racing. Then, yeah, it became a residential hotbed. And,
Those stupid Sydney-siders.
Yes.
How could they ruin something so beautiful and pure?
well, they live in Sydney. They ruined Sydney by being in Sydney.
Big F. We've got a few people watching along in the live chat. Hans Brunswick, he starts the night, not joining us unfortunately for the race, but joining us in the live chat. Hello Hans, go Hans. He started the comments by saying, 9 of Australia's best racetracks and Winton gold from Floody. Oh, thanks Hans.
I'm not commenting.
I love it. So yeah, good to see Hans in. Matt Cecil, he's trying to get his internet back online. Hopefully we'll see another Sierra at the... Oh no, Matt Cecil is in the Norton Hornet, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So hopefully we'll see Cecil back before the race. He's only got a few little minutes to get it ready, so hopefully his internet gets back in. And also we had Scott Morrill asking what song is this? And the answer to that is Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah, I think that was when we may have accidentally had our mics unmuted while the intro was playing.
Brilliant.
So yeah, professionalism. Oh god, I love this camera angle on one right now. So
Professionalism out of 10.
Yeah, it's a high look over the back chicane. It looks stunning. Gotta keep that one in mind.
That back chicane is such a cool call.
It's one of my,
There's a lot of really unique corners around this track. I think the final corner, the only thing I can think of that comes close to the final corner is turn 17 at the bend nowadays.
Yeah. It's almost
The
like
sort
they
of-
replicated it.
Yeah, it's because it's an aggressively downhill braking zone that comes back up to meet you right as you start to turn in. So you're losing braking efficiency, but then you gain turning efficiency because of the way that the track meets you. Of course, here it's cambered the whole way around. At the bend, it kind of flattens off again. So you turn in with great turn-in efficiency, and then the track goes away from you again. You get just a plow full of understeer. But then here, of course, because of that camber, you really get a chance to ramp the speed in nice and early, and then you can use the downhill run onto the straight to straighten the car out.
As we see Don Liccardo trying to break into turn 1 and getting it wrong. That leads me beautifully to my next point. Where's your hotbed for overtaking around here?
Yes. Turn 2, if people have balls. Otherwise, you can set stuff up through getting a good run out of turn 2 into turns 3 and 4. We've seen that happen before. And the last corner, unfortunately, as good as some of the parts of the track are, they don't really lend themselves to great overtaking. Like turn 8, that is a monster corner, but you can't really set up a move through there because you're swooping out of the middle chicane there, the fast right-left. So it'll be someone very, very brave to get a move done there. So I think final corner, turn 2 or 3 and 4.
Now this is TCAC. We know people are going to have balls, and it's the last race of the season. People are going to have balls. It's the last race.
They got
before
a few screws loose upstairs that they've used downstairs.
I am going to leave that one alone. As we look at the Synergy and Racing front row, Hobson from Nolan about ready to take off in the formation lap. 26 cars.
We did end up getting Matt Cecil back in, so well done to him. We'll see him line up in 24th, ahead of those with rear of grid penalties.
Yep. Just waiting now for the formation lap to get underway. This is going to be like V8 Supercars of old, 26 cars around Oran Park. Hopefully we don't have a Paul Morris type incident as we start off in the formation lap.
Brenton Hobson leads us away with the championship in his grasp. He needs to finish better than 6th or better to claim yet another TCAC championship. He has his direct championship rival in Scott Nolan, his teammate, second on the grid. Nolan will be hoping for a good result tonight. The two Equerry Brunswick Volvos, 3rd and 4th. Peter Savage subbing in for Hans Brunswick, and Luke Rosella, another strong showing from him. The third of the Synergy Sim Racing cars is out of 5th, Damien Rasmussen, and he has Scott Morrill for company in the lead of the Commodores. They're looking for the first win for Commodore tonight. LimeMitch starts from 7th. He's looking for 3rd in the championship, and he's got last round's race winner, Wayne Spencer, for company on row 4. Brock Harvey with that beautiful tirade in qualifying. He is out of 9th place. And he's ahead of the first of the Sierras, Lewis Wedding / Peter Siraj / Klaus Ludwig. in that.
And the Eggenberger Motorsport.
Yeah. Nathan Higginson in another one of the Commodores in the Ringer. Good to see Higo running along with us. He's got Luke Joyner, another Commodore for company. 3 Commodores and 4 cars there. Steve Bolger out of 13th place in the BMW, and Termo out of 14th. He had a good run last week until a spin dropped into the back of the grid. Ozrob is out of 15th, and we have Brendan Ross running in a Ringer BMW, so not his normal Mercedes tonight for Rossi. Cam Rutledge is out of 17th place, and we have the return of Adam Kerrison in a beautifully turned out Shell Helix Volvo in 18th. Good to see him back with us. Rody out of 19th on Trackstar Sierra. Brian Walsh in the Mustang, the map of Tassie Bro Walsh racing car. Mike Coulston, Saudi Camel, joins us from 21st. He's got Glenn Miles next to him on the grid. Manuel Centino, 23rd. Dane Liccardo starting rear of grid. And Will Devenish, 25th, again, rear of grid. He's got a long way to go if he wants that championship. And it looks like, unfortunately, we did lose Matt Cecil on the warm-up lap. So no Norton Hornet tonight. Really sad to see that for Matt Cecil. He would have loved to have a nice run out in the finale here.
No doubt. Scotty Nolan's a long way back in his pit grid as we're about to go green. And we're underway at Oran Park. Great start from the number 18 on the outside. Can Nolan get the secondary start and make the move stick? Further back, it looks like everyone's fanning out pretty cleanly. 3 wide between LimeMitch and the Domino's car. Hobson, and yes, Nolan's got the move done into turn 2.
And Hobbo's got Luke Joyner for company around the outside. Great start from Joyner. Awful start from Peter Savage, who's dropped down to 5th. And Rosella is pushing the envelope here, really, really making Hobbo work for it as they go through turn 3. And Rosella's got the inside line. He might take the position going up the hill, but he's been held close to the apex there. And Hobbo's going to wrap around. Unbelievable. How did he manage to hold that position there?
Around the outside of 3 just doesn't make any... Around 3, 4. That's a great move by Hobbo.
Great hold there. Everyone else has been very well behaved through the grid. No big losers so far.
I think I saw a Walshy spin. But apart from that, all pretty good. Well, we just... Oh, whoa, hang on. Sorry, I've got distracted by cars falling off the curb and flipping over.
Yeah, a few cars running, making very liberal use of the apron there at turn 8. But as we finish the first lap of what should be a 47...
Whoa! Rasmussen!
David Rasmussen's around.
He just gassed it up too early. I've made that mistake a lot myself in practice, and he's going to ship a bunch of positions. He's down 17th, 18th now. Rody's just gone past him. I go back to the back of the field here. 20 seconds.
So I'll jump on board and see if he got a tap.
Please.
No, it was all his own doing. It was all his own doing. He got over the crest that leads you into the pit lane and spun up the wheels, and that was all she wrote. I thought for a second there that was Hobbo, so I was panicking.
So was I. That would have been a story changer.
Absolutely.
But it looks like we've actually spread out nice and early for a change.
Yeah, they've turned up the sanity for a change, which might make our night a little easier. So it is, again, still 2 Synergy Sim racing cars from 2 Equerry Brunswick Volvos. They've both been switched around, though. So Nolan leads Hobson, Rosella leads Savage. And Scott Murrow is the benefactor from Rasmussen's spin, as is LimeMitch and Wayne Spencer. Higginson has been the best early mover, except for Will Devenish, who is up 12 spots to 14th at the end of lap 2.
Now, where is his third place rival currently?
LimeMitch is in
6th
6th place.
Ooh. At the moment, that third place battle is going the late way of Mitchell.
Yeah, still a ways to go.
Indeed.
But still a long time left in this race as well.
Yep. As you see, Ozrobin 13th. Taking the almost defensive line against Devenish already.
I'm going to bring us back to the battle for 4th here. Peter Savage, he's got a bit of a train forming behind him. And it's all different cars as well. So it's Peter Savage, Scott Murrow, Mitch, who's taking a little peek up the inside of the Commodore. And Wayne Spencer, who gets a big slide on through there. And just manages to stay on the black stuff.
Wayne Spencer getting it all wiggly.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah. They really leap over that curve. It's crazy.
The one on the back chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
coming around to
Ooh.
start. Ooh, that LimeMitch is gone.
LimeMitch! Oh,
Oh,
he
no.
missed the wall there. He managed to hold it and just managed to keep it together. But he's got pressure now from Wayne Spencer, while Scott Morrill is having a look on the inside of Peter Savage. He forces him wide. Peter Savage is around. He's gone. He's gone.
Oh, everyone's gone.
Oh, cleaned up. Cleaned up Wayne Spencer, and he's gone.
Well, and there's further carnage back there. We may end up with a safety car as a result of this.
Oh, it's all happening here. Oh, no. We're going to go see a replay of that, because that was...
Yep. I'm going to jump on board with the Domino's car, I think. Or the Turbo. Where is it? Yep, Wayne Spencer just around. He was already losing it, then just got the final help by Light. Oh, and then tried to come out through Luke Joyner. And then there's 5 cars where 5 cars don't belong.
Oh, no. Scott Morrill there was such an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
He forced Peter Savage wide, which ended up turning Peter Savage around, broke to get out of it, and then got absolutely cleaned up by Wayne Spencer. And then, everything that went on behind it. So, big sads for Scott Morrill there. He was just absolutely destroyed by from behind.
And that's put him down in 10th place now, and most likely with a slightly broken car that he may want to get fixed at the pit stop. Talking about pit stops, you're not going to see a 2-stop this race.
Higginson's around as well in the first corner. He's hit the wall hard at the tyre wall. He just caught the slide, but it sent himself sideways. So he go with a big off at turn 1 as well. And he's now down with Peter Savage. Not Peter Siraj. Oh, God. It took all season, but it's finally confusing me.
As I was going to say, you're not going to see 2 stops here. The pit lane's so long, 40 k's an hour, tyre wear's not that significant. It'll be a 1-stop race, so really it's going to come down to what you do on track.
Which would be good for the Commodores.
Yeah.
Provided that they don't get cleaned up in other incidents. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, half of them already have.
Is it just me, or has Will Devenish lost a bunch of spots?
He's down to 15th now, yes. What's happened? He's lost a couple.
I'm going to research that, because I'm unsure as to how that has happened.
As he goes down the inside of the Domino's car of Wayne Spencer, gets the move done into the last corner.
Nicely done, Will.
Got one of those spots back straight away.
And it looks like we had Brendan Ross have a spin at the final corner as well, a lap or 2 ago that we missed. So it looked like Devenish had to redress something. He felt like he had to redress something, because he kind of just pulled over to the side.
Okay.
And let it all happen.
Okay, meanwhile, we just saw the BMW of Steve Bolger get it wrong and shift a couple positions out of 2.
That was very peculiar. Okay. Cool. So I knew that battle pack had something going on in it.
Didn't realise it was going to be quite that crazy.
It all happened there.
And as you see Nathan Higginson with his lights on, putting the pressure on the car of Osrob ahead of him. I don't think you're allowed to drive with lights in this series in case you break stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, so that might get looked at in post, as they say. So that's a nice little battle pack there. Luke Joyner, Scott Morrill, Osrob, and Nathan Higginson.
Yep.
The skyline in the pack of the Commodores.
Yep, jumping on board with Scotty Morrill. I think he's going to have a little look here into 1. And there he goes.
And Luke will be smart and let him go there, I think. Oh,
Whoa.
no, there's a little bit of a tap, and Joyner's been sent into the gravel and into the wall, and Morrill's around as well. And there's more contact. Higginson into the back of Osrob, who was trying to avoid it. Oh man, every single time we look at turn 1, there's something going on.
All right, I'm gonna have a look at Scotty Morrill rear view here to see what we can narrow this down. So, I think Scotty absolutely sent Nolan.
Morrill.
Joyner, sorry. And then, how did the rest of this unfold?
I think maybe Morrill expected Joyner to pull out of it, because Joyner did get on the brakes pretty early, but he kind of coasted through the first corner. So maybe Morrill expected there to be more space on the outside. Yeah, I just saw in the stream replay next to me that he just got a little tag there. So yeah, a bit of a weird one there.
And now Peter Savage is down to 13th place, harassing Damien Rasmussen.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Indeed. The Volvos look so strong at the start. And
they got Wayne Spencer there as well.
Yep. And then looks, and there he's down. I was going to say LimeMitch is in fourth place. We have a yellow flag in turn 1.
And it's for Klaus Ludwig, who's
just
made a mistake.
No, that's for Brock Harvey. He's pointing the wrong way.
Oh no! Yeah, Brock. I've just caught up on the replay now. Brock's just absolutely cleaned up Lewis Wedding in turn 1. Just completely outbraked himself there and cleaned up the rear of that Sierra.
And
Not
Brendan
bad.
Ross has gone around in 18th place, coming under the bridge as well, and he's almost got himself beached from the curb at the process. But he got going again.
It's been a bit nutty. So who's made mistakes and dropped down the order so far? We've got Brock Harvey who's done it. We've got Scott Morrill who's done it twice. Peter Savage has done it. Wayne Spencer's done it. Damien Rasmussen had the spin on the first lap. Will Devenish is mostly okay. Higginson's done it. He's down in 7th. And Lewis Wedding's been involved in 1. So there's a 10-second gap on track between Lewis Wedding in 5th and LimeMitch in 4th place.
That's crazy.
Hey guys,
Hey, what happened?
need to apologise to Luce there. Just ran out of talent. Sorry, buddy.
You used it all up in qualifying.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that too. I'm having a weird day.
all good. We have had our first retirement. Brian Walsh has pulled to the inside of the circuit and retired the car. Unfortunately for Walshy, we'll hopefully see him back racing TCAC next season in the Le Mans Midgets, which will be very, very cool.
Indeed. Now, I'm going to bring you up to the front because the battle up between the teammates, Nolan and Hobson, is down to 0.3 of a second.
Ooh, Hobbo's been putting in some good laps recently, actually. Has the fastest lap of the race in his back pocket and gained 0.4 last lap around. Didn't gain much this time, but he's certainly putting the pressure on his Synergy Sim Racing teammate at the front of the field.
As we see Adam Kerrison off track, and these guys go past him, so I think he's already a lap down.
Yes,
Yep.
he is down in 19th block.
Yes, indeed. So we're already getting to lap track. It's only 10 minutes into this race.
Oh, well, it didn't take that long, did it?
No, as you just seem to have gone to a different postcode from your microphone.
Yes, that's because my mic stand is falling apart and it almost tipped over on me. I didn't realise.
Ah, well, that's good save. You see Hobbo right on the tail of Nolan through 5 and 6. Now, can he hold it onto him through the back flowing section to make a move into the last corner? Because that's really the only chance he's got from this point. Not this time.
Still such a difficult place to pass because you're swinging out to the right through that fast chicane. He's got a great run out of the last corner this time though, and he's right in the wheel tracks of Nolan as they come down the main straight. Not quite close enough to make a dive through turn 1 as Nolan gets the curve.
Hobson's
and
off!
he's forced Hobbo off.
That was just Hobbo's making. He
So
riding on board with
yeah,
him.
it looked to me that Nolan took a little too much curve and checked up, and Hobbo, did he carry too much speed or did he go off in avoidance? That's the question I have.
I think it was just a bit too much speed.
Okay. Well, Nolan got a track cut in Sector 1 that lap, so both of them had very scrappy first sectors that time around.
Okay. We have to keep an eye on that.
I'm going to get you to get eyes on the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place.
Oh, Klaus, Osrob, Rasmussen, Higginson, Devenish, Termo, and Wazzle's making his way back as well.
As is Peter Savage as well. So this is a very willing group as they come over the bridge.
Yep. I love that shot of the camera on top of the bridge. That's fantastic as the cars go underneath. As we see, I'm not even going to try and call this, just want to watch it to see the Termo engineering car ahead.
Oh, Glenn! Glenn's really checked up Rasmussen there, as we've got Will Devenish, who's died down the inside of Higginson. Glenn's still going to be the fly in the ointment here, and he's blocked. Oh, no! Higginson's got balked. He's gotten absolutely balked. He's lost 2 positions there because of Glenn Miles. Really unfortunate, because the car can't really just disappear in that situation.
Glenn had nowhere to go. What it does mean is we have the Ikuri Brunswick machine and the Wayne Spencer machine going 2x2 down the front straight. And is that a pass for 5th place?
Rasmussen got around, and he's cleaned up Osrob as well. Oh no, that's drama at turn 1 again. Yeah, Rasmussen made the move into turn 1 and then locked the rears on the exit and cleaned up Ozrob. It looks like they got away without too much damage. But again, this has brought Wayne Spencer, Scott Morrill, and Steve Bolger into this fight as well. So it's now 5th, 6th, all the way down to 14th in this group.
Ooh, too wide over the bridge. What was that?
That's hot-headed. That's making a mistake and then trying to make up for it as Higginson makes a mistake of his own. But gets the position from it. Wow, how did he manage that?
I think Turmo had to see the position. He's now gone around as well.
He's turned himself around. Oh, no.
I was going to say Turmo had to see that position to avoid a crash.
And then ended up having one of his own. It's a game of last man standing in this battle pack. So here we go. It's Ozrob in 6th, Will Devenish in 7th. Expect that gap to expand down the main straight. David Rasmussen back into 8th, Higginson 9th, Peter Savage, Wayne Spencer, Scott Morrill, Steve Bolger. That's that group down the main straight as Ozrob goes very defensive, forcing the Will Devenish Mercedes around the outside, and got a little bit of wheel spin there, so dropped off the back of that, the Skyline did Will.
And so this battle pack is sort of calmed down now.
A little bit.
Ozrob is going to be holding on for grim death. He's done a pretty good job so far. He kept his nose clean, apart from getting involved in other people's incidents.
Oh, well, yeah, Rasmussen spun in front of him. He didn't really have too much to go, so that's what the dent on the front of that car is. Yeah. And he's going to be very vulnerable to Will Devenish here, who's got a great run, but parked it very nicely.
Oh, well, hell, Will.
Woo! I was about to say that Ozrob parked it very nicely to prevent Will from passing, and he did it again there. So, yeah, Will's just not going to have the horsepower in a straight line to get the Mercedes past the Skyline, and he's going to be vulnerable this time around to Damien Rasmussen, who peels to the inside. He might get a 2-for-1 deal here going into turn 1. He's not that brave.
Is he?
And Devenish. Oh no, we got Peter Savage in the background doing an impression of the Swedish ballet there.
Yep, getting well out of the way though. He didn't actually cause any issues for anyone else. Found reverse, and Will Devenish has ceded that position to Rasmussen. Ozrob's still in 6th place.
So Devenish tried to get past both of them into turn 2 there, but Ozrob didn't give him enough room, so he actually had to check up, and that's what prevented him from passing Rasmussen, because he threw it big down the inside there. Now this group has Rhodey to deal with, which is going to be a big problem as they come through. Already! Oh, at least he spun off the circuit there. Far out.
I mean, I was also going off because Will Devenish had a moment going on as well.
Far out. It's too much. Too much. If people in the mid-pack could keep it on the track for more than one lap at a time...
Devenish down the inside of Rasmussen into his rear quarter. Oh, God.
Far out.
Okay, now the move's on. Now the move's on for Rasmussen on Ozrob this lap. And further back, they're going 3 wide.
Just as you do. Just a normal day in TCAC.
Rasmussen down the outside of 1. Can he... Oh, no! He held... Oh! What? And we have car on the inside and outside.
Devenish has made a mistake and he's dropped down the order.
Alright, let's have a look at this one on the replay. So what's he done? Coming through turn 1.
As we see Rasmussen in the foreground. Oh, he's just looped it. He got a little too greedy, yeah.
And that curb is vicious as hell.
It's like a ramp there.
Yes.
Jesus, how... Ozrob did end up getting past because of that slide, but how Rasmussen stopped it from going sideways and then stopped it from tipping over. Far out.
Far out. Meanwhile, Klaus Ludwig's in 5th place.
Still, somehow.
He hasn't meant to make an on-track pass. Everyone in front of him has just fallen off.
Yeah, exactly. The battle between Rosella and Hobson.
Sorry to interrupt. Devenish has just found the outside wall at the final corner.
Again, okay.
And he's just being punted in the backside by Peter Savage as well. I think that was just
drafting. Gave him a few extra horses down the back straight.
Yeah. And is he going to hold to 12th place? I think he is. Yes.
It's every single lap. Every lap we look at someone doing exactly the same thing. It's just a madhouse.
I don't think it's just the... as we see Wayne Spencer now looping it, coming out under the bridge.
Far out. Again, I'll say, if you guys in the mid-pack can keep it on track for one damn lap, that would be great.
Because we've got to focus on the front at some point.
Do we, though?
I mean, it's still as soon as he's in 1-2. I don't think Brenton Hobson's going to push too hard to pass his teammate. He doesn't need to.
Exactly, yeah. Rosella has dropped off the back of that pair. He's down to the tune of about 5.5 seconds away from the Synergy Sim Racing pair in the Volvo. One of the few cars that actually hasn't taken a win this season, the Volvo. I think the Volvo, the Commodore, and the BMW haven't taken wins, and the Mustang.
And the Mustang.
Yeah.
We don't count the Mustang.
No, we don't. It's not really a race car. No, I'm just joking. Nolan's just gotten held up a little bit by Rhodey coming through turns 7 and 8. So that gap between the front pair might drop just a little bit.
If Hobson can't get past either.
So it might not drop by just a little bit.
Scotty Nolan's showing in 3rd place now.
That's weird. That's very weird. No, it's just a timing glitch there.
Okay, phew. I had a panic for a second there. I thought he might have missed the timing sector entirely.
Mitch is running a very lonely race in 4th. His preferred position.
Well,
he has 9 seconds ahead of him, and 15 seconds behind.
Well, behind has been carnage. So, and it's perfect for him. He's going to secure 3rd place at this rate.
Yeah, exactly. And the battle between Osrob and Rasmussen has finally gone the way of Rasmussen once again. Let's see how long he can hold on to it this time around. Whether or not he can actually chase. He's got a great exit out of that corner and gaps Osrob to the tune of about half a second down the straight already. Yeah. We have our first pair of pit callers. We had Cam Rutledge through the pits and now Wayne Spencer.
Wayne Spencer, I wonder if his tyres were just shot.
Oh, it's quite possible the amount of spinning that he was doing.
Yeah.
Peter Savage also in the pits.
Maybe you can't. Maybe they're trying to stop this.
Well, I would heavily suggest... Luke Rosella's gone around. Luke Rosella's gone around at the exit of turn 8.
I think there was a harmless spin on his own. We'll see if I'll get that up on replay.
Oh, he got his wheels on the grass in the braking zone.
Oof. Yeah, and there he goes.
Yeah.
Very lucky he didn't have anyone behind him, although he would have been carbon fibre. Wait, these cars wouldn't have carbon fibre. What am I talking about?
It'd be splinters of fiberglass.
Yeah. Brenton Hobson now just making his way past the Ringer Beamer.
Brendan Ross.
Yeah, and there's Adam Kerrison on the inside as well. He's getting well out of the way. 2 laps down already, unfortunately for Adam.
Yeah, not quite the return to TCAC action that he would have liked. But good to see him back in the mix. And we've got a Synergy Sim racing car in the pits.
That would be Damien Rasmussen.
Yep.
There he goes. Very long pit lane here. And at 40 k's an hour. We talk about it all the time, but my God, that's a long time to not be doing
slow
this.
pit lane, yeah.
And when you've got the closing speed of the guys on the front straight.
Peter Savage has had a long pit stop here. He's actually a lap down on the guys coming through now. And he might be retiring the car. Yep, there he goes.
There he goes. So the second retirement, unfortunately, Wayne Spencer. Hans in chat, Peter is spinning as much as he usually does.
So you think it was him?
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Equerry Brunswick team, with Peter Savage dropping out there. He had a great qualifying run, great early stanza of the race, but unfortunately a few too many mistakes, and seeing him drop down the order as LimeMitch holds it through turn 2, and also holds the front left tire locked the entire time through turn 2.
What's stanza? That's a very posh way of saying stanza, mate.
Stanza. Sorry, it's because I'm from South Australia and we
have to pretend to be posh.
No, well, we were the only settlement that wasn't a penal settlement, mate. So we speak Queen's English. Apparently.
Speak properly, mate.
Nah.
South Australians speak properly.
Exactly.
Oh, Brock, where are you? On track at the moment.
These bloody Melbourne bogans down here.
I know, right? So we say things like dance and castle and bar.
Melbourne's the only place that calls castle.
Castle, Maine.
Let's go to the castle.
Indeed.
No, it's a castle. Piss off. Right, I better go back to driving.
Yeah, you got turbo rod on your clacker.
Yeah, I can see him. It's all good.
Will Devenish again lighting up the tyres out of the slow chicane out the back.
Is that a bit of a torrid, we'll call it a tough night.
Now you're just butchering English.
My brain is basically mush at this point of the night.
Yeah.
As
see
Scott
what happens when
Nolan
you drop your
picks ahead
pizza?
of him. Oh, mate, I'm still blowing up about that pizza. It was going to be so good. Don't rush home with pizza on your car seat, because what will happen is it will end up in your footwell, ladies and gentlemen.
Cooking top tips from your Endurance Chat Media guys.
Yes, cooking. Pay someone else to do it.
Works for me.
So we've got Brendan Hobson
Hobson's
coming
in the pits. Indeed.
Yep. So this could be the undercut here, because he was very, very close to the rear of Scott Nolan. So if he gets a good shot on those new tyres, as Nolan tries his best to help him there by going a little wide through turn 2, lock the brake there. So
Luke Rosella's, sorry to butt in. Luke Rosella's also come in.
Yep. So yeah, so this is important here for the race. Hobbo versus Nolan. Nolan's coming through turn 5 and 6 over the bridge now, so he's got a ways to go. Let's see how Hobbo gets on as Brock Harvey peels out of the pits.
We should see.
Hey,
You're going to drop close to a lap.
something.
Quite easily.
It's a long, slow pit lane here. Will Devenish now up to 4th thanks to the pits, and he's been cleaned up by Glenn Miles. Oh no, a lap runner who's had a massive effect on this race, with Glenn Miles spinning on the exit of turn 2 and cleaning up Will Devenish, who was sitting in 4th place at the time.
Well, let's have a look at this one on replay. So coming through turn 2, and nothing he could have done.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing he could have done. That wasn't even Glenn's fault. He was just spinning.
Yeah.
He was just spinning, and unfortunately got caught in an incident. And what it does mean is Hobson's now about to put Devenish a lap down. No, that's a position.
That's actually a pass for position.
That's a pass for position. You're right. Sorry.
Where Devenish is on track, and there's Glenn Miles spun around again on the exit of turn 6. We got Hans in the chat saying maybe Bert needs to clean my footwell. Yes, he does. I would appreciate that, because my footwell is currently covered in pizza sauce, which makes me very sad, very angry.
I'll come across the border. If you can put me up for 14 days quarantine, I'll do that. Clean it for you.
Please don't come across the border.
Whoa! Sorry to interrupt. We just had a massive incident at the pit lane. Devenish was trying to come in front of Hobson, and has absolutely cream crackered himself.
Oh.
This was an absolute mess.
I don't really know what either of them could have done there. Maybe Devenish could have made more of an obvious attempt to be getting into the pit lane from the exit of the corner, but yeah, Hobbo was just kind of stuck. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, so that's going to make Devenish's stop a hell of a lot more brutal.
And we've missed in all this Scott Nolan coming through the pits and returning to the lead of the race. Well, the effective lead of the race, the corrected lead of the race.
Yeah, well, Hobson's going to lose himself a second now, but he's actually... Hey, look how close he is.
It's extremely close. In this, we've also missed Wayne Spencer DNFing. So when Spencer came to the pits, he must have actually, gone through and retired the car.
Well, the answer to that is also in chat.
Yes.
Another of those pit lane incidences.
Yeah, so Peter Savage saying that he had the red mist going from the mid-pack in mistakes, and he didn't see Wayne Spencer coming into the pits ahead of him and absolutely cleaned him up. So a big F's for both Peter Savage and Wayne Spencer, which is not the way that they would have liked their season to have ended here in TCAC.
Of course, we have a non-championship round at Bathurst coming up.
True.
So it's not the last time we get to drive these cars, but yes, they would have loved a good showing here at the last points playing event. So now currently we have Ozrob 9 seconds ahead of Nathan Higginson in the lead of the race. Scotty Nolan, effective race leader, in 3rd. And Brendan Hobson's actually right behind him now, 5/10 of a second.
They've been connected at the hip this entire race, this entire series, it feels like.
Yeah. Steve Bolger, Brock Harvey are battling over 13th place as well. Everyone else is sort of set up. So when we get the last 2 pit callers, we'll do a bit of a on the bridge pass through, catch up on where everyone is. Yes, this race is pretty much like dodgem cars at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wild one so far tonight.
As we see Scotty Nolan. Yes, we have had another pit caller. Osrob's now jumped into the pits from the lead of the race.
That leaves Nathan Higginson as our race leader, and he has 2.5 seconds over the Synergy Sim Racing pair.
Yep, so I expect to see him in pretty soon as well. And
I think everyone used up their talent last fortnight, where we had a brilliant race where no one made any mistakes, and now we've come to a race here where everyone's making mistakes, and it's still a brilliant race.
Yes. Championship update. LimeMitch in 6th place. Will Devenish is still somehow, despite everything, in 11th.
For now. The gaps between them, Devenish has... Oh, he's just come through the pits as well, so he's a fair way down on where he should be. His next target is Osrob, who is some 12 seconds up the road.
14, math.
14 ish. So that's the gap that he has to overcome. But on the plus side, he has a bit of clear track ahead of him, so he can really maximize the cornering advantage of the Mercedes. That
he can, as we see the gap out front closed to not much at all, 0.3 of a second now.
Just on the battle for third place, Devenish only needs to get to 9th to maintain his third place in the championship, as Higginson's holding up the two Synergy Sim Racing cars. Remember, that is 4th position, so he is entirely entitled to block.
And we saw a bit of a flash of the lights from Scotty Nolan there as well.
Yeah, but that's purely fine, because they're racing for track position. So he goes entitled to do whatever the hell he wants.
It was like Brady Kostecki at the Bathurst 1000.
Which, just quickly, while you brought that up, thoughts, hopes, and dreams on that?
Nothing wrong with it.
Beautiful, I agree. He was not letting himself get bullied by the main game drivers.
Indeed, and that's what we expect from the best of the 3 Kosteckis.
Absolutely. As Nolan peels out to the inside to try and make the move, he's probably going to drag Brendan Hobson through with him, as well as they both try to eclipse the Ringer HTD machine as they go down into turn 1. Very nicely done in the end. He goes twice to argue the point.
You say that, and yeah, he's actually gone to back of Hobo a bit there, but in the end, no damage done. I'm surprised he's actually stayed out as long as he has. 18 minutes left in the race.
He's might be hoping for a safety car, blitz through the field on clean tyres.
Well, the early predictions in the practice were going to be like 3-4 safety cars. We haven't had that so far.
I think we've only had 1 safety car all season, and no one knew how to do the procedure correctly.
Yeah. Hans asking in chat how many members of the same family racing in the same event. What's the record? I think it'd be the Kosteckis. Kosteckis
trying to think of what else, who else it could have been.
I mean, I suppose one day when Garth and Leanne Tander race with their kids.
I was thinking more like Brad Jones, Andrew Jones, Macaulay Jones.
Yeah, that could work. And
they ever raced together?
No, they haven't. But hey, there's an idea for an LMP2 drive next year.
Oh, gross.
Brad Jones racing LMP2 at the Bend. Make it happen.
He'd be a tin rated driver.
Yes, he would. Throw in Kim Jones as well. Why not? Okay, so we have seen Nathan Higginson make his way into the pit lane now, so the field is cleansed.
And Turmo's in the pits now as well, which is intriguing.
Okay, so we'll see if we can get that shot, that cool shot I love over the bridge. Yes, we can. So Scotty Nolan goes under, as does Brendan Hobson. There goes Higginson in 3rd place. And there's a massive gap back behind them. There we go, the Texaco car of the Kithiati Camel. And there's Luke Rosella in 4th. Massive gap again. 8 seconds. And there comes LimeMitch over the hill and under the bridge. So massive gaps are forming. And there's Luke Joyner. He is also a lap down at this point. And there goes Damien Rasmussen with Rhodey a lap down behind him as well, as we just had Brenton Ross DNF this race.
F for Rossi.
And there goes Klaus Ludwig and Scotty Murrell for 7th and 8th place. Next car we see will be Osrob down in 9th. Then we've got a lap down car there of Dane Liccardo. then a bit more of a gap back. For a short track, there's a lot of gaps forming. And there's Will Devenish in 10th place currently. Last car on the lead lap coming up now. Oh, no, it's Glenn Miles. He's a couple of laps down. There's Brock Harvey. Last car on the lead lap, and there's your leader once again, Scotty Nolan. So that's the whole field with 16 and a half minutes to go.
Oh, and Higginson's had a spin coming up the hill onto the bridge. You'll just be able to see him in a moment there, and he's going to lose position to Luke Rosella as well. So Higo is really fighting on those old tyres at the moment, running them very, very deep. And it's kind of surprising because the Commodore has traditionally been the worst on their tyres the whole race, the whole season. So for him to be running this long as he gets another oversteer moment coming out of turn 8 rather, is quite a surprise. I would expect to see him this lap, if not the next lap.
Surely. He's starting to ship a lot of time now. He's getting vulnerable to the cars behind. Does he go? Nope, he doesn't go in.
He doesn't.
He doesn't go in. Look at his lap times. His best lap time is 109. He's did a 118 that lap. Okay,
He did have a spin in the middle of that lap, though. So we've got a yellow flag in turn 1. Who could it be now? And we've got
me.
It was Brock. As we see,
I almost took it the leader at the same time, so it's pretty cool.
Can we get that one on replay, please? It's too far back.
Too far back. I was going to say we do have a drive-through penalty now for Klaus Ludwig.
Lewis Wedding.
Yep. Thank you for translating it into sensible names.
There is nothing sensible about this series. Isn't that right, Brock?
Today, I think we've all gone. We're all in party mode for last race, and we're all driving just like.
I didn't realize Toto Wolff was the race director.
Party mode, hammer time.
Yeah. Everyone's sort of spread out. So you know what? Why don't we do this? Let's drop on board with Brock for a lap. See how his car's looking.
This is always dangerous.
You're going to be brave enough to commentate us through a lap as we've got Turmo off.
If I can stop it. There we go. Oh, there we go. Hey, I got it loose in front of me.
Hey.
I've already hit him once. Let's see if I can do it again.
He's just come out of the pit lane after his drive-through penalty as well.
Turn 2, the car wants to go straight. Turn 3, the car wants to go straight. And then when you get on the power, it wants to go sideways. And there we go. Over the bridge, grab third. It's a short shift in the third there. Coming through the sweeper, feed in the power, let it slide all the way. I'm grabbing second into here just to get it through because it tightens on the exit. Keep it in third. Some guys are using second through here. I'm keeping in third just to handle the bump. As you can see, it's a fair bit of work. I'm going fourth through here as I get a track cut for that one and into seconds. And that is bloody hard work because it's so bumpy around here. It's probably not the best lap you're going to see in the world.
It was a very poor lap. What was that lap time, bro? Oh, wait, we didn't get a lap time because you cut the track.
That's it.
And now we prefer the code brown into 1. That's much better.
Yeah, that was a little bit better.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Brock.
No worries.
What was interesting...
I'll let you guys do your job.
Wait, you're paying us for this? I get a refund. As we got Nathan Higginson finally coming into the pits now. He managed 37 minutes on a set of tyres there. So well done to Higo for that one.
That'd be more second-hand than Scotty's tyres from Bathurst after his burnouts.
Yeah, absolutely right. We've got Luke Joyner off at what looks like the turn 2. He just seeds 15th place. Actually, he's a lap down now because I just saw Scott Murrell go past him in 6th. So Murrell's recovered very nicely.
That he has. Now we're looking at Steve Bolger in 12th. He's now got himself back onto the Brock Harvey machine.
This will be interesting to hear to see the difference between the Commodore versus the BMW on this sort of track. So already you can see the BMW getting absolutely monstered down the straight. Brock does his best impression of torturing a front left tyre into turn 2. But the BMW should be quicker through here, through this tight, twisty section. And looking... Oh, a little bit of oversteer for Bulge there. The gap's not really coming down as Bulge has had to step out of the way to allow Luke Rosella, the third place man, to come through.
Oh, so much for our comparison on that lap. We're having really good time picking our drivers to follow at the moment, aren't we?
I'm just surprised that Brock didn't put it in the fence as soon as we jumped on board with him.
I was backing him too.
I was too. I was too. It was a surprise, a welcome one to be sure.
Yeah, we don't really have any on-track battles. Everyone's sort of really spread out now.
This
Whoa! Big moment. Sorry to interrupt. LimeMitch has just got himself a drive-through penalty.
Whoa! Really? I missed that.
Yep, just came up on my screen there.
Wow, okay. So LimeMitch, our current fourth place man, remember searching for third in the championship, fighting with Will Devenish. He has a drive-through and he comes straight in to take it. So this is going to be important here because Will is currently in 8th place. He's sandwiched between Ozrob and Lewis Wedding. So Will, as it stands with LimeMitch coming into the pits, that third place battle was going to go the way of LimeMitch, but this is going to be a big penalty because of the length of that straight.
You know
there
what?
Goes Scott Murrell, so that's now 6th place for LimeMitch.
I think they might come out on top of each other.
Hot. Higginson in 15th. There's Ozrob coming through. That's 7th place.
Here comes Will.
So now, Devenish will have 3rd place in the championship sewn up.
And there he is, about 2 seconds behind behind LimeMitch after 3.5 seconds.
Wow.
Okay, so bit of quick maths for you. With Devenish in 8th, how high up does LimeMitch need to get?
He needs to get back to 5th, I think.
15 seconds and 9 minutes, that's a big ask.
It is, but he could get some help from some people making mistakes. He's got Ozrob and Scott Murrell to overcome. So we'll keep you guys abreast of the lap times for those guys over the next few laps, just to sort of see as LimeMitch almost gets himself another track cut there, using all of the curb on the inside of turn 6.
And LimeMitch...
Little wiggle.
Yep, and now Will Devenish is actually right on him. It'd be a bit of a massive haha if Will can get past him, I think. He'd like to.
Yeah, he certainly would. So that lap, of course, for LimeMitch, the longer lap because of the drive-through penalty. Last time around, Murrell and Ozrob did 9s, 9.2, 9.7 for those two. Will Devenish also did a 9.2 just behind. So we'll get a better read on where LimeMitch's pace is. There's going to be about 8-9 laps left of this race as well.
So really, he needs to be 2 seconds a lap better off.
Yes, if he wants third in the championship. Just as a quick aside, last lap around, Scott Nolan said set the fastest first sector time of the entire race.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said before, Hobson won't be pressuring him too much.
Gap is about a second between them, but it's not extravagant. Well, you were saying that LimeMitch needed, what, a second and a half a lap?
Yep.
He gained half a second in the first sector there.
Ooh. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on them as they come across the line here. LimeMitch just coming
Half a second in the second sector on Ozrob.
Ooh. Can he do this for 15 minutes or 8 minutes though?
Not sure. So last lap around, best
lap of the race
for LimeMitch. 8.3 plays a 9.2 and 9.5. So Mitch has got the bit between the teeth tonight now, and he's really looking for it.
Whoa!
He's got third! What?
Wow. How did he pick his way through that mess?
That was terrifying. Terrifying. Higginson's down in 15th, so he had a very, very long pit stop.
Yep, jumping on board with LimeMitch as he comes around the front second corner. Oh, there's a Higgo! How he did not wipe his nose off, I have no idea.
The most astonishing part about that was he was still faster than Ozrob and Murrell in that sector. And Murrell's actually made a move on Damien Rasmussen as well. So Murrell's actually gotten past the Synergy Sim Racing number 221 car. And that's because Rasmussen's made a mistake. You have very, very slow final sector for Rasmussen.
So that makes it 13 seconds. He might do this.
He might do it. Lap time check around Murrell 9.5, Rasmussen a 20.2, Ozrob a 9.9, LimeMitch a 9 flat. So it's getting there. It's getting there. The gap between LimeMitch and Ozrop is only 4 seconds, it's going to be that next gap, the one to get the 5th position, to get Rasmussen. That's going to be the one that's going to be the killer.
Yeah. I was thinking of the gap behind, but Klaus Lug was 21 seconds behind these two, so he's not going to get any help from behind. He's got to do it all on his own.
Mm.
And the issue is going to be...
Provided that no one spins ahead of him.
Yeah. And really, it's going to be a case of how quickly can he dispatch of Ozrop, who has been defending very gallantly this race.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, we saw him hold off Will Devenish very nicely to the point where Rasmussen came and swooped both of them up, which I'm sure was the plan.
Absolutely.
But if you're watching LimeMitch, you can see in the same shot now, Ozrob. So they're not too far away for LimeMitch. Morrill and Rasmussen have started to respond though. 8.8s for the pair of them, versus a 9. I think it's going to be a 9. I'm just waiting for the lap times to pop up. A 9.5 and an 8.8 for LimeMitch as well. So LimeMitch is still catching Ozrob as he locks up that front left tyre. But he's not quite getting the same inroads into Morrill and Rasmussen. In fact, Rasmussen has gotten back past Morrill for 4th place now, which doesn't... Oh no, Morrill's had a timing glitch, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
he would have had to.
Yeah, he'll come through the next timing point. There he goes, back up to 4th place. So, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, just having a look. So yeah, the battle was really between the timing screen on between those 3, 6 through 8. Tell you what, Will Devenish isn't exactly making it easy for him either. He is pushing.
I think that might actually be what Lime needs.
Whoa.
A little bit. That's a bit too much pushing there, Will Devenish. And we've seen this from Will so many times this season because, of course, his car is so good under brakes and into corners and he gets monstered down the straights. He has had a habit of over-driving the car and trying to make too exuberant a pass sometimes.
Yes.
I wonder if he had the choice again, as Dane Liccardo gets a drive-through penalty from 16th place for a track cut. I wonder if he had his time again, if Will would have chosen a car that was maybe less conducive to dive bombs, to let him have a calmer season. He did say at the very beginning of the season that the Mercedes was going to be the sleeper, and after a few difficult rounds at the start of the season, he pulled out an absolute masterclass at Winton to destroy everyone. But he hasn't quite had the rub of the green when he's needed it, and that Mercedes hasn't quite panned out the way that he would have liked at the tail end of the season.
I'm going to leave that timing battle for a minute. Looking at Scotty Morrill, he's now got Damien Rasmussen on his backside as he misses the apex for turn 2 by a little bit. Is it a very good drop from Scotty Morrill, got to say. Really good drive.
Yeah, we've been waiting for Morrill to pull something like this together. Remember, he was initially driving the Skyline at the beginning of the season, before getting drafted and drifted into the MHRT Commodore group at the expense of Brian Walsh. Brock, remind us again why you canned Walshy from your team?
Because he kept hitting me.
Yeah, that was right. You did warn him if he kept hitting you, you'd take the stickers off the car. So, yeah, Morrill replacing Walsh in the MHRT team, and he's done a good job tonight.
The big reason that we got him in was we had Big Dog in the car, and Big Dog was unable to race, and a contract with MHRT specified we needed 2 Commodores on the grid.
There we go. You would have heard me protesting in the background there. A few lap runners made it very, very difficult for Morrill and Rasmussen coming through the final corner. And in fact, it's allowed Rasmussen to run down the main straight. He dives into turn 1, gets the move done. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Mike Coulson in the background doesn't get it stopped. Glenn Miles also doesn't get it stopped. But that move has now put Rasmussen back into 4th place. Yeah, unfortunate for Morrill there. There was just a bit of a calamity with the lap runners, but lucky to escape, but unfortunately unlucky to not hold on to that position.
Yeah. Still, good result. 5th place for the Matt Harvey Repair and Tune Commodore. As you get drifting under the bridge. Well held, sir.
Nicely done.
Now, going back to this battle on the timing screen, hasn't really gone. It's down to 9 seconds between Scotty Murrell and LimeMitch. Osrob's still in between them, but he's now just 7 tenths ahead. With 1.5 minutes to go, this battle is, I don't think, going to go LimeMitch's way.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wind's kind of come out of LimeMitch's sails. He gained a lot last lap around because Rasmussen and Murrell were bugging each other and running into lap traffic, but the gap is still too large and it hasn't come down quickly enough. And with only 1 minute and 15 seconds left, which will be, I think, 3 laps, it'll be the gap's not coming down quickly enough. Osrob, and not only that as well, Devenish is right behind him. So even if if LimeMitch does make these positions, the likelihood is that will make them as well. As there's Glenn Miles spun at turn 2 yet again.
Very easy to do.
How many times did you do it in practice?
I did 8 laps. I think I did it 7 times.
And the 8th time you came out of the pits?
No, I actually did a clean lap.
Oh, impossible. Nah.
I mean, I was 3 seconds off the back, but I did a clean lap.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I've only just discovered that I can actually customize my dead zones.
Oh my god.
Anyway, 20 seconds to go on the timer. Scotty Nolan, faultless drive from him. So he rounds the Glenn Miles car coming down the back straight on what will be the potentially
penultimate lap. Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to secure a 2nd place in the championship. Good race from Scotty Nolan. As we kept it clean, kept his teammate behind him, who was going to take away the championship.
Nolan did everything he could have done tonight, but unfortunately Hobbo did everything he needed to do as well. As we can just see that battle pack that we were just talking about in the foreground of that shot, raging into turn 1. They're all very close together now. So this will be very willing because these guys will have 2 laps left.
Yes.
Provided they don't get lapped, of course.
I feel like he's just going to let him duke it out.
Yeah, let him squabble. He might actually try and lap Devenish just for the memes. I would try and lap Devenish just for the memes.
You would.
I would. I'm just an ass. Nolan, this has been his best, most consistent TCAC season. It's just unfortunate that he hasn't had the outright pace in the latter half of the season versus his teammate. When his teammate has been strong, Nolan hasn't quite had the same prowess, but he does get a win tonight, provided he can get through the final corner safely. 44 laps around Oran Park Raceway, taking home another win to bookend the championship with wins in round 1 and round 11. It is Scott Nolan, but it is his teammate Brenton Hobson with a 2nd place finish tonight that takes home the Australian Touring Car Championship here on TCAC. Congratulations to Brenton Hobson. Congratulations to both the Synergy Sim Racing cars on what has been a very well fought season from the pair of them. We had only one race where there wasn't a Synergy Sim Racing car on the podium, showing their ultimate consistency throughout the season. Lou Rosella comes home 3rd in the Eckery Brunswick Volvo, a good result for the Volvo. And then it will be Damien Rasmussen and Scott Murrell, the next 2 cars on the lead lap to cross the line.
And then you got this cluster.
And then this cluster. We have had also Lewis Wedding, Mike Coulston, Nathan Higginson, Luke Joyner, Dane Liccardo finish many laps down. Lewis Wedding down in 9th is the first of the lap runners. Here comes Rasmussen across the line with Murrell for company. So Synergy Sim Racing 1-2-4 tonight. Murrell with his best result for the season in 5th. And then here comes Osrob, LimeMitch, and Will Devenish. And Osrob is just going to hold on to 6th place ahead of 7th place LimeMitch and 8th place Will Devenish. Lewis Wedding hit 9th, and Termo rounds out your top 10. Brock Harvey ended his last race of the season in 11th. Then it was Steve Bolger in 12th. Mike Coulston coming across the line in 13th. Nathan Higginson 14th. Luke Joyner, Dane Liccardo, Adam Kerrison, Rhodey, Manuel Santino, Cam Rutledge at your 20. Glenn Miles did finish the race in 21st, 6 laps down. And we had non-finishers for Brendan Ross, Peter Savage, Wayne Spencer, and Brian Walsh. But no one can take away what Brendan Hobson has done. His 4th consecutive TCAC victory, his championship victory rather. And it's been an absolute supreme season from the man with ultimate consistency here in this series.
We just saw his victory burnouts again, just the most consistent driver of the season. Did what he needed to do when he needed to do it. I think last week typified what he can do. Really, I mean, he pulled it out of the fire last week, and that's the stuff of champions.
Absolutely, and we've seen Hobbo do it time and time again, and he says it's luck, but if you're able to do it that many times, that consistently, it's absolutely not luck. He has been the premier driver for the series, and it's been just an absolute pleasure to watch. And a well-fought battle from his teammate, Scott Nolan, as well. He was the early leader, and Will Devenish taking it all the way to the final stages of the series. A real surprise packet in that Mercedes as well. But yeah, really, even when Hobbo didn't have the fastest car, he had an ability to put the car in places that it shouldn't have been getting to. But he's been able to do it time and time again.
Yeah, and fully well-deserving, again, of his championship. First one I think we've seen where he's actually had to work quite
probably
hard.
had to fight for it, yeah.
And he's just shown he can do it. I think there's a reason he drove the Supercar Z series.
Yeah, well, he must be somewhat good of a bit of a steerer.
Yeah.
We've got our we don't have any of our race winners in the chat yet. They're probably still celebrating over in their own Discord. So what we'll do is we'll talk to third place man Luke Rosello while we've got the chance. Luke, bit of a quiet race from you in the end. Got the jump on your teammate at the start line, and then had a nice, chilled, relaxed run in third for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I think that was a practice session for me. Yeah, I mean, sort of predicting before the race started, the HSVs of the SSR boys were going to pull away. The Volvo was a bit average, I think, today. But nah, props to... who won it? Was it Nolan or Hobson who won the championship? I don't know for sure.
It was Hobbo who won the championship, Nolan who won the race.
Oh yeah, congrats to Hobbo for the championship. But yeah, that was a pretty quiet, like you said, pretty quiet race for me.
A question that we're probably going to ask everyone tonight is, how'd you deal with lap traffic? You get any hairy moments?
Most of the time it was pretty good, but I had a few hairy moments with a few drivers throughout that race, but overall it was all right. So and also good to get Volvo's first podium of the championship.
Oh, is that the Volvo's first podium? Surely we've interviewed Hans one of these nights. Regardless, we saw you for the second half of the championship. Are you planning to join us again next season for TCAC Midgets, the Le Mans Midgets?
Yes, I'm a bit of a 70s sports car nerd.
Oh,
so,
brilliant. You're going to love what we've got planned.
Yeah, so I'll be planning to do a full season of that. So I'm
fantastic.
Excited.
Yeah, brilliant. So we'll see you in with a championship fight next season. So thank you for joining us for the second half of the season, Luke, and congratulations on your third place this evening.
All right, and thanks to Brock for holding a amazing championship. Thank you.
Thank you, Brock. We'll talk a bit more to Brock a bit later on, if he doesn't shout over the top of us once again. But we have here our race winner and our championship winner, Scott Nolan, Brenton Hobson. Firstly, congratulations to both of you. Nolan, you got the jump off the line and held it to the end of the race. Congratulations on a nice race victory.
Yeah, thanks. Obviously, congratulations to my teammate. He did really well throughout the season. It's a bit bittersweet. Obviously, came in to win. Did everything I could to win. Knowing that I think we spoke about at the start, he had to finish worse than sixth or something if I won. But I knew it wasn't going to end that way unless something pretty bad happened. So yeah, congrats to him. I just said I just really wanted to win it. I won the first race. I won the last race. Probably a bit disappointed I didn't win a few more along the way. Definitely had the pace to do it. But still happy. We came in. The plan was to, at least go a 1-2, possibly a 1-2-3. Obviously all try and do our best. And, we got the 1-2. It was a pretty good race. Just tried not to make a mistake and give him it. So we did that, and we held on and, got the win in the end.
Congratulations on the race win. Hobbo, I want to ask you, off the line, you lost the position, which ended up being the move for the race. Did you try and fight Nolan pretty hard in that race there, or were you pretty content to sit behind and let him do the heavy lifting through traffic?
Yeah, the the start was pretty average. It was, I think I had clown shoes on or something. I had my feet on, and the lights went, and I didn't react. I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't move when the lights went. So I got a pretty reasonable roll away and everything, but I was just very delayed. So Scotty obviously got the job done down there, and we didn't really talk about it, but we did sort of say before the race, there's not a lot of point us fighting each other and taking each other out if we're at the front 1 and 2. So I sort of knew that was the job done for Scotty there. All I wanted to do was just stay right with him in case something happened to just so come about, and the door opened up for me, and I just want to stay as close to as I could the whole way. But in saying that, it's not like I drove at 90% and rolled around behind, and I had that thing at 100% to keep up. So he had the pace. He was definitely deserving winner tonight, and justifiably so. I mean, I think he's been the best guy in the championship, to be honest. He can probably tell you based on the points and everything, but I think his average finish is probably the best of everyone in the series. So if it went for rounds, I think he would actually be the champion. So massive effort for him. He drove a stunning race tonight, actually, and it wasn't easy out there, and he did a great job.
Yeah, that's a great point, Hobbo. If we remove the equation, I think I just dropped out there. I'll say that again. If we remove the drop round from the equation, it would actually have been Nolan who would have been the champion. But the drop round, the worst result for Hobson at Pukekohe actually puts him back ahead when you count that drop round in the equation. Nolan, we saw a few incidents with some lap cars and traffic around Oran Park throughout the race. Was it something that you were extremely worried about at any point in the race? Did you see any lap cars in front of you causing you to take evasive action?
Yeah, they were all fairly good. A couple of them, obviously, I think I rocked up to turn 1, on the lock stops, and I'm staring at Glenn Miles into turn 2, who's spinning right in front of me, and I'm just like, please don't move. We both got around him, and that was probably the credit. If someone did sort of, come off the track or something like that, they didn't move. They just, we just got around him, and generally they were pretty good. I had the headlights there, just as a hey, I'm here, but everyone was pretty good. We had a good little battle with who was it?
Nathan Higginson, yeah.
There you go, yeah, because he was obviously hadn't made his stop yet, and that was cool. That was good. I knew he was for position. So that was all fine and fair, and it was just hard because I kind of did do a little bit of the hard work with the traffic, I guess. Hobson didn't have his own way either. I saw the gap ebbed and flowed a bit, but I'd get out to about a 2 second, and then I'd get a little bit of hold up, and it would shrink back in. But he was pretty dominant in that second sector. I'd sort of have his measure in the first sector, and then through the twisty stuff, he was pretty good, and I thought he would be. So yeah.
So you did very well to hold on. Final question for Hobbo before I ask you both a question. Your 4th consecutive TCAC championship. You've done it in front-wheel drives, you've done it in rear-wheel drives, done it in all-wheel drives. Now you've done it in the ATCC cars. How would you rate this season's performance and the challenge you had to face this season in terms of your direct competitors and the quality of the field versus the seasons past?
I think the quality of the field as opposed to seasons past is the exact same comment I say at the end of every other season. It's that it just gets harder and harder. I mean, the first couple I walked away with it pretty easy, and just ever since then, everyone seems to get better. And to the point where I did not think that I was going to win this championship. Even up to this week, I was not convinced that it was signed, sealed, and delivered, which it wasn't. I mean, it wouldn't have taken a lot to have a bad race, and it's all over. So, I mean, by the competition standards, it's getting a lot better, a lot harder to win, and that's a credit to everybody that races in this group. It's a good bunch, and everyone's getting better all the time. My driving in this series, I think, I would put it as probably one of my worst performances, but that may just be more reflective on the results not being as good because everyone else is so good. I've had to drive harder. I've made a lot more mistakes. I've had a pretty untidy season by my standards. So I don't know that that's necessarily as much a reflection on me as it is on all the people that I'm racing against, if that makes sense. So I've struggled with these cars. There's no doubt about it. I think that the last 2 weeks or the last 2 rounds, I finally figured it out and I've been comfortable, which makes me confident. And then all of a sudden the pace comes with that. But it took until the second last round to get there. So all in all, I'll take it. I'm obviously stoked to pick up the win. Big congrats to Scotty as well. He ran it right up to the end, and I did enjoy it. So thanks obviously to everyone who's raced, but also everyone behind the scenes that makes the wheels turn, and to you guys as well for the effort that you put in with the broadcast. It's good fun to go back and have a listen.
Thank you, and I'll echo those thanks a little later on. But I have one last question for the both of you. Are you happy to be out of the HSV now? We've heard mixed feelings about it all season. You happy to be rid of it?
I did enjoy it. It was obviously hard to get the right balance in regards to just, it's really hard when you've got so many different cars and so many different, obviously power to weight ratios and all that to get them exactly the same or, to a close standard. I still don't know if it is exactly right even at the end of the season. I'm sure, I'm a bit disappointed. I thought the Merc would be a lot stronger here. But it wasn't. I know, Will done a pretty good job throughout the season, winning, 3 races there in the middle, round 3, 4, and 6. But I think I'm happy to be out of it. It's always happy to have another series done. Would have been cool to race at for points at Mount Panorama, even if it was just a 50-minute race. I think it would have been cool to round it out. I thought that would have been a fitting sort of end, and it's another track where sort of anything can happen. So that would have been good. But happy to be done. I'm actually looking forward to having a break. I'm going to hang up the wheel, competitively for probably the rest of the year. I'll probably jump in and do a bit of boxer. But I'm sort of I need a bit of a break. I've got a lot happening, outside of the sim. It's going to be a pretty busy wrap up into Christmas. So from here, I've got no competitive championships that I'm running now for the rest of the year. So that's kind of good. I can just sort of rock up if I want and have a bit of fun and race hard. But as Brenton echoed, and I do want to echo, a big shout out to Brock with the mod. He does tirelessly work. And if we complain to him about an imbalance or anything like that, or anyone does, he sort of he doesn't fall for it. He just does what he wants, which is great. So good job to him. He does a really, really good job, and to everyone in the series, everyone's raced well. This has been the highest participation series I think I've ever seen across AMS Oz TCAC. So I hope that the Le Mans series is just as good. I won't be there. I'm gonna have a bit of a break, but I'll be watching and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Hobo, a quick 5-word summary on your feelings of being out of the HSV.
Thank God it's over now.
Brilliant. And on that note, thank you both of you guys. Congratulations on your race win and second place of the championship, Scott. Congratulations on your championship win, second place of the race, Brenton Hobson. And on that note, Kiwi, I think it's an appropriate time to bring Brock Harvey back to the stand. Brock,
To the stand.
To the witness box,
or to the shouty seat. I'm happy you just didn't talk over us in the friggin' interviews.
That's what I do.
Exactly. Brock, just a comment on you. The series has been the most subscribed series this year in a year of oversubscribed series. It's been a mod that's been almost universally well received. Nolan mentioned that there was a few balance adjustments through the year that has made things closer to parity. It's been a lot of fun, a really good racing for me and Kiwi to commentate on. First of all, thank you very much for putting this together, because it's been an awesome mod and an awesome championship. But how do you think? How would you rate the ATCC cars in the series for TCAC? How's your feelings on it so far?
It's pretty good, pretty comfortable. It's something that I wanted to race since we started AMS Oz, and the mod isn't completely mine. It's the TCL guys who did a huge job on it in R Factor, and yeah, I've done a little bit of work on the tyres and a little bit of work to even them up in a different way than they did, because I know that they did it for their series and it worked for them, but we did a couple of different formats. But really, it's probably the TCL guys that need more credit than I do. The big thing, I'm a little bit humbled by everyone thanking me when there's so many other people who do so much work. Massive shout out to Rhodey, who's been mega in the last 6 months. Scotty and Brenton and whoever's done the points with them. Will, who's been he drives more than anyone I know. I think Will just drives full time. I think he's just charging Telstra to drive. And yeah, so, and just of course everyone that raced. Really, it was fun. For me, it's kind of at that point where I know I'm not going to go out and win too many races. I'm just going out to race and have a bit of fun with it and enjoy steering the car around. So it's interesting to see the guys that are so fast and so consistent. And I don't know where they're doing it, but congratulations.
Yeah. Is it a humbling feeling, a good feeling to see something that you've put together be so well received and so well subscribed? Do you go back and watch the races and think, damn, this is exactly what I hoped it would be?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I suspected it would probably be pretty popular, just based on the type of cars that it is and those kind of things. So the hardest part really was getting feel, having driven a Group A Commodore in the past, getting the cars to feel the way that I thought they would feel from a Group A perspective, and really the feedback I got was pretty positive for most of it. I think a few people saying this is the best one we've done, so or the best set of tyres that we've done. We did find I guess an anomaly in the tyre at about halfway through the season. Once we fixed that, the cars just got better and better again. So it was good.
Nice. With that in mind, do you think we'll see these cars again?
Yeah, definitely. The anticipation is to run the midgets.
Yep.
And then do another ATCC series. ATCC series.
ATCCAC series?
CCAD ACDC.
The TCAC ATCCCCC series.
Yeah.
It's good. It's been good exposure for a lot of people, and it's been, I guess, with the weirdness that has been 2020, it's been nice to be able to put something back out there and give back to everyone to have some fun in a pretty difficult year.
Yeah, and yeah, from the absolute bottom of my heart, and I know Kiwi will echo the same sentiment, just want to once again thank you not only for this mod, but the other TCAC mods, the administration of the championships, and for getting us on board. And that is not only for you, Brock, as well, but for the entire TCAC admin group. So that's yourself, Mike Coulston, Rhodey, Will Devenish, and me now. Thank you for bringing me on board for that. That's been really good. To Nolan and Hobbo for doing the points, thank you very much as well. For Netherrealmian, who's done all the graphics and given Kiwi and myself so much help with doing the broadcasts over the seasons. And of course, to my good mate Kiwi, Chris Riddell, and your efforts in streaming. So yeah, it's been a really wholesome, well run and well participated community to be a part in this TCAC group, and it's been an absolute privilege to call these great races over the past 2 years.
Yeah, I might just point out as well, we're so lucky to have you guys, and even from I think the second and third race of AMS Oz, the commentary teams that we have, starting with Stairs and Nether and Bagsy and now you guys, it's been amazing. I never would have. As I said, when I started this, I was happy with 6 to 10 drivers every second week and no broadcast. And now we've got races almost every day, and just about all of them have a broadcast. And yeah, I think Hobbo played a big part of that with his fan base.
Race against AI cars, Brock, when we had enough people.
That's it. So get 6 and fill the rest of the grid up with AI. But like I said, I'm amazed at how popular it is, and I am very much in debt to you guys for the effort that you guys put in, because without you guys, you guys make it an extra level of fun. So it's always...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And Michael, I should say thank you so much for keeping this stuff on the rails with me. There's
I try to derail it.
I know you do, but all the stuff we do here, the podcast, everything else we do, you put up with my crap attempts to keep it together, and you actually keep me on track. So thank you for that.
Nah, thank you very much for doing all the heavy lifting in terms of streaming and the camera work, and allowing me to just come on and talk shit.
Yeah, well, I talk enough of it, so...
Exactly. Nah.
So on that note, we should say thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, echo your thoughts, I won't repeat it all again, but thank you everyone involved for making this absolutely awesome. We will have, obviously, the Mount Panorama. That's an endurance round, isn't it?
Yes, 110 minutes, not an hour. Yeah, not heaps long, not 150 minutes, 110 minutes. So it should be double the length of what we were doing tonight and a bit more.
And a work night for me, so that's fantastic.
Brilliant.
So I'll be calling in sick.
Good choice.
In the meantime, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Michael. Until 2 weeks' time, we'll speak to you then.
Oh, just before we finish,
Yes.
it would be remiss of me not to mention what else we've got coming up in AMS Oz over the next week.
Yes.
Considering we have the marquee event for AMS Oz calendar coming up this weekend with the Bathurst 500, capping off the Supercars series. So Nether will be broadcasting that on Outworld Broadcasting, starting with qualifying tomorrow night. And that will be, I think, Lewis Wedding and possibly myself in commentary for qualifying. And then the three of us doing commentary on Sunday for the 500k race. Look into Outward Broadcasting for that. Also, Porsche Cup still going on. Also, for those who want more Bathurst, on top of, us doing Bathurst last week, and the Supercars Bathurst, there's also the ASC Bathurst in 2 weeks' time, which will be broadcast over with the guys who run Apex Rear Wing, and I'll be a part of that as well. So that's all coming up in the next few weeks as well. And on that note, I think that's everything. I think we can finally say goodbye now.
Look at you, bloody not honouring
You're
your
gonna plug
exclusivity.
everyone.
Yeah,
Gotta plug everyone.
You're not honouring
We're
your
all friends
exclusivity.
here.
You're not honouring your exclusivity contract to Endurance Chat Media. Anyway,
I am a whore for commentary. What can I say?
you're also a great commentator. So until next time, I'm Chris Riddell. That's Michael Zalavari. We'll see you then.
Peace out.